Hey everybody, how you guys doing? Today is April 16th, 2024. Wow. The spring has sprung. We are moving right along in the year through the first quarter and past tax day already. So here we are. Welcome in to you that we're over in the news premiere. I appreciate that. Trying to keep a news premiere going, doing a few things with that, seeing how that works. Hey, Mystic Jinx, thanks for joining. Um, I really wanted to do this AI writing session because I have started this project. I started writing a short story with ChatGPT, and I kind of just felt like I needed to finish it. And so that's kind of my plan today. But I will take questions if anybody has any questions. I think in the other premiere, you asked what can behind the magic. Thanks for joining. Really appreciate that. And I think the question was, what does an implant do for a disabled person? Implant for. And I'm going to see if I can. Um, See if I can find what we were looking for here. If I can find something that gives us a little bit of explanation. This is from last year. Let's see here. Here is an article that says Elon Musk says his startup Neuralink has implanted a device into its first human. Um, it says Musk said the first product from the brain science startup is called telepathy, and it will let people control their phones just by thinking. Tech billionaire Elon Musk said Monday that his brain science startup company Neuralink had implanted a device in a human for the first time. Possible step towards a product that he said would allow people to control almost any external device just by thinking. He made the announcement on X. He said that the patient, from whom he did not identify, received an implant, is recovering well. The initial results, he said, showed promising neuron spike detection. He gave no other details about the procedure, the patient, or the device the company has implanted. Scientists for decades have worked on similar ideas for brain-computer interfaces that, if successful, could one day assist people who are physically disabled. And I believe the trial was to implant it into people who have disabilities first. And so that would be one of the main drivers behind this technology, not to just give it to somebody because they want to answer phone calls with their brain, but because they want to actually help, provide a service for someone who needs it. Can you imagine having? Can you imagine me having my breakdowns? Yeah, I think there'd probably have to be some sort of fail-safe mechanism. Talk about drunk dialing. Yeah, um, I think there'd have to be some sort of. Are you sure? Like you'd have to. Are you sure you want to call this person right now? This would be an appropriate time. Inappropriate time to call them. They are not available, right? You're getting a Neuralink call from. Oh God, no! I don't. I definitely don't want to hear their stream of consciousness. Can I turn it off? I don't know that much about it. I just know that there are some, and I've seen some videos where people can operate like let's say they lost an arm. I saw someone that lost an arm and they were hooked up to a machine and they could operate the arm. That was actually on 60 Minutes. I think I could probably find that video fairly easily. See if I can't come up with that one real quick before we. Uh, it was one of the reporters. actually did not have, like, was missing an arm, I believe. And let me see if I can find that. And he was able to utilize a machine that helped him operate his arm, but I can't find that video that quickly. So there are some technologies and applications that do use that. Yeah, and they were just using their brain, and there have been some remedial exercises done that have, let's say you want to move the cursor on the, for a paraplegic person, they're able to, put this like helmet on and, move a cursor. So there is definitely some legitimacy to that. I did read recently an article that said that artificial intelligence will soon be able to read our thoughts. So even without having an implant, you could put on the, brainwave detection helmet or however they do that, put those stickies on your head, and artificial AI can, I'll just read your, I'll pull up that article, I'm sure. Let's see if we can't share this quickly. So yeah, portable, non-invasive mind-reading AI turns thoughts into text. Researchers from Graphene X UTS Human-Centric Artificial Intelligence Center have developed a portable, non-invasive system that can decode silent thoughts and turn them into text. In a world first, researchers from Graphene X at the University of Science and Technology in Sydney have developed a portable, non-invasive system, and I think that's the difference. Is the one we were talking about with Elon Musk is an actual implant that can decode silent thoughts and turn them into text. The technology could aid communication for people who are unable to speak due to illness or injury, including stroke or paralysis. It could also enable seamless communication between humans and machines, such as operation of a bionic arm or a robot. Yeah, I mean, think about the underwater applications, then Avatar, right? Or the space application. If there's a robot and you can put a robot out to do a spacewalk, and then you can hook the helmet in and you can maneuver the robot, in perfect synchronization without risking a human life. I think that would be a good application too. So kind of a cool thing. There's definitely some groundbreaking stuff. And I think that's where a lot of times we get hung up on artificial intelligence, and we're worried: is it gonna be, Skynet? And we keep saying that Skynet scenario where it's going to take over, and I just, it's always a possibility, but I hope we don't get there. So today, really the focus of this video and this live was to wrap up this writing session. So I started this project kind of in jest. I was just playing around with ChatGPT, and I said, well, let's have it write for us. Let's see what can this program do when it comes to writing. Now, full disclosure, this is ChatGPT 3.5. There is an updated paid-for version, which is ChatGPT 4. I guess at some point maybe I could invest in ChatGPT 4. However, there are other chatbots such as Claude. Here's Claude, and there is Grok. And there's a couple other of them. So before I would invest in one, I really kind of want to get to know with it. After I do this project that we are working on now with ChatGPT, I think I want to play around with some of the other chatbots. So I want to wrap up this kind of story. I want to come to some sort of a conclusion with it and see if we can't have ChatGPT, turn this into a screenplay or review it. So that's really what I want to do. I want to come to a conclusion with the story and see what we can come up with. I want to read this comment though first. I think the question for me is not whether we can do it, but rather should we do it? On the other hand, my dad has ALS and eventually lost the ability to communicate, even though his brain was functional. So again, that would really be a great application um, of that technology that we just talked about, that people who are locked, you know you know great example where they're not communicative, but their brain is working. um, you know I, I don't know what the ethical implications would be for someone who's in a coma. But if you were in a coma and we put this, AI thought helmet on you, what would come out? Would we see them dreaming? Would we, what if you did this to someone while they're dreaming? Well, there's ethical implications, of course, but um, what kind of breakthroughs could we have in our own understanding of how our bodies and our brains work? And so I think the more we focus on the positives and keep the negatives, of course, in thought, I think the better off we'll be. Um, would have been helpful to know what he was thinking, especially when he had an itch or a pain. That's a really good point. You could say, "Could you please move my left leg? It is in mega pain. I don't, please don't do that. Turn on that music off. I really hate this TV channel that you have on. I can't stand that woman's voice. Well, whatever, that man's voice, whatever." And so I think that that's a really good example behind the magic brings up about how that technology could be utilized. Unless there are any other questions from the chat, I am going to get to the story, but I'm more than happy to explore more artificial intelligence technologies. So keep the comments coming. I can take a break and we can look at some of the other stuff, but I really wanted to come to some sort of conclusion with this story. And so, for those of you that were not with us when I started writing this and when ChatGPT started writing this, I just before the show asked ChatGPT, can you give me a review of the story? So if you guys were not paying attention, or you were not paying attention, I'm sorry, if you were not present, I asked ChatGPT to give us a review. So here's a review. The title that I believe it came up with this title. I did not come up with this title. It's called Echoes of Truth. And the plot is Echoes of Truth follows the journey of three unlikely companions, Alex, Jake, and Sarah, as they unravel the mysteries surrounding Project Genesis, a clandestine initiative shrouded in secrecy and danger. From the neon-lit streets of the city to the remote mountainside, the trio embarks on a perilous quest to uncover the truth, facing obstacles both physical and emotional along the way. As they delve deeper into the heart of the conspiracy, they must confront their own fears and doubts, forging bonds of friendship and trust that prove to be their greatest strength. Now, I actually think that this summary makes the story much more interesting than I think the writing actually has been. So that's just my own disclosure. I think that kind of like this sounds like really interesting. I don't know if the story that we wrote was that interesting, but yeah, I will continue. So it also told me, and I think one thing to note about this is that you ask ChatGPT, give me a review, and this is what it tells you. Okay, the characters are richly developed and multifaceted. I take a little bit of question with that. I don't think they're richly developed, and I don't think they're multifaceted. And that speaks to ChatGPT's kind of, I guess, programming to tell us what we think it wants, what we want to hear. Like it's telling us what we want to hear, not what the truth is. And I don't think the characters are richly developed and multifaceted. I just don't. Each grappling with their own inner demons and motivations. Alex is the fearless leader, driven by a thirst for knowledge and a desire to make a difference. Jake, the pragmatic skeptic, provides a grounded counterbalance to Alex's idealism, while Sarah, the reluctant ally, brings her own unique skills and vulnerabilities to the table. Together, they form a dynamic trio whose camaraderie and resilience propel the story forward. again, I think they're kind of telling us, it's kind of juicing it up. It's making the story sound a lot more interesting than it actually is. But I think that's what ChatGPT does. It's trying to tell us what we want to hear, right? So if I read that on the back of a movie, back of a DVD cover or something, or a Blu-ray, I'd be like, wow, this is kind of interesting. I mean, I was here step by step through the story, and I don't think the story is that compelling. But I regress. So the writing style, it says the writing style is an evocative and immersive. It drawing readers into a vividly realized world of intrigue and suspense. Okay. The prose is eloquent and thought-provoking. I don't know that the prose are that developed. Capturing the complexities of human emotion and the thrill of discovery with equal finesse. From the bustling city streets to the eerie silence of the mountains, each scene is meticulously crafted to heighten a sense of tension and anticipation. I don't think it was meticulously crafted. I think it was off the cuff crafted, but I regress. Keeping readers on the edge of their seats until the very end. Well, today we want to bring this story to an end, some kind of a conclusion. So, again, it's kind of getting ahead of ourselves. I'm going to check the chat. To get back to help dementia patients, absolutely. And so overall, Echoes of Truth is a gripping tale of adventure and intrigue that will captivate readers from beginning to end. With its compelling characters, atmospheric setting, and thought-provoking themes, it leaves a lasting impression long after the final page is turned. Okay, maybe you guys would agree with ChatGPT. I think this is all fluff that it wrote, to be honest. I think that it's making it sound a lot more interesting than the words on the paper, but we'll see how it goes. The next thing is I asked ChatGPT, and this is for the people who were not along for the ride or for people that kind of forgot the story that we wrote. I asked ChatGPT, can you just summarize the plot points for me? Can you just give me kind of like, what was the story about? Certainly, here are the major plot points of Echoes of Truth. Number 1, introduction of characters. The story begins with the introduction of Alex, Jake, and Sarah, 3 individuals with different backgrounds and motivations who are brought together by their shared interest in artificial intelligence. It's not really accurate. First off, Alex and Jake are introduced first. They have an interest in artificial intelligence. Sarah ends up just being someone who has a car that they ask for help, like, hey, can you give us a ride? So Sarah really doesn't have any interest. Backgrounds and motivation, they're brought together by, okay, so, it's not inaccurate, but it's also not accurate at the same time. Number 2, discoveries of Project Genesis. Alex stumbles upon a mysterious message regarding Project Genesis, a top-secret research initiative setting the trio on a quest to uncover its secrets. Alex is on his computer. He gets this anonymous message. It says, come and find out the truth. And so number 3, investigations and revelations. Alex, Jake, and Sarah delve deeper into the mystery of Project Genesis, uncovering evidence of a dangerous AI prototype and its potential consequences for humanity. There you go. There's always a little fear aspect in this, otherwise it wouldn't be a good story. Number 4, encounter with Dr. Vasquez. The trio encounters Dr. Vasquez, a renowned AI researcher who disappeared under mysterious circumstances. Dr. Vasquez reveals crucial information about Project Genesis and enlists their help to uncovering the truth. I'd have to go back and check, but I thought that Sarah was not there for that part. I don't think Sarah was there for that part, and so ChatGPT is talking out of its ass again. Infiltration of a military facility guided by, maybe the first guy was not Dr. Vasquez. I might be mistaken. Alex, Jake, and Sarah infiltrate a heavily guarded military facility in search of more answers, facing danger and uncertainty at every turn. That's actually where we left off in the plot. They did not enter a heavily guarded military facility. That's where they were approaching it, and they never went in. So that's a little bit of getting ahead of ourselves. Number 6, unraveling the conspiracy. Inside the military facility, the trio uncovers shocking revelations about the true project and its implications for the future of humanity. I don't remember them going into the facility, so I don't know why ChatGPT is saying that. I will go back and look. Confrontation and resolution. Alex, Jake, and Sarah confront the architects of the Project Genesis, facing off against powerful adversaries who will stop at nothing to protect their secrets. In a climatic showdown, they must use all their skills and resourcefulness to expose the truth and prevent disaster. A climactic showdown. This didn't happen. We never wrote that part. Why is ChatGPT saying that this happened? Like, okay, maybe it's trying to wrap up the story for us to be thorough, but that never happened. We never wrote the last two parts. They never went into the military facility, and they didn't have a climactic showdown. That's what I was hoping writing tonight. But I think we're learning a little bit about ChatGPT. Like, again, it is telling us what it thinks we want to hear. It's not telling us truth. And see, this is where, at least for ChatGPT 3.5, it is not generative. It does not have consciousness. It does not. You can see, obviously, it's talking out of its ass. It's making up stuff that never happened because it's trying to please us. It's telling us what it thinks we want to hear because it's designed to give us an answer. So through these major plot points, weaving a gripping narrative of intrigue, suspense, and discovery, ultimately challenging its characters and readers alike to confront the complexities of morals, ethics, and the relentless pursuit of knowledge. So I'm going to back up. I'm going to go up a little bit and look at where we actually left off, because I think ChatGPT was lying. It's hallucinating and telling us stuff that never happened. The last thing that we wrote was, as the trio sets out on foot towards the military facility, heavy silence hangs in the air, broken only by the crunch of gravel beneath their boots and a distinct howl of wind. Each step they bring closer to the unknown, the weight of their mission pressing down upon them like a suffocating shroud. With every passing moment, the tension mounts, casting long shadows across their path and stirring echoes of doubt within their minds. Sarah's apprehensions bubble to the surface, her eyes darting nervously side to side, and she struggles to come to terms with the magnitude of the undertaking. Alex and Jake exchange a glance, their expressions mirroring the weight of the burden that they carry. They know that the journey ahead will test their resolve like never before, pushing them to the very brink of their limits. But amidst the uncertainty and fear, a flicker of determination ignites at their hearts, a beacon of hope amidst the encroaching darkness, for they know that the truth they seek is worth any sacrifice, any hardship. Is it? Is it worth their lives? Is it worth getting locked up by trying to get into a military facility? I don't know. With each step, they draw closer to their destination, their footsteps echoing in the vast expanse of the mountains like a heartbeat pulsing with purpose. The suspense builds with each passing moment. It's kind of an unnecessary, casting a spell of anticipation over the trio as they prepare to confront the. If I was editing this, I'd cut this out. I'd be like, you don't need to tell us it's suspenseful. And the story was very suspenseful. Like, we don't need that. We just cut it out. I guess I'm being too critical. Let me know. Oh, hey James, thanks for joining. Is it political chat? It tells us what we want to hear. It tells us what it thinks we want to hear, not what we want to hear. What it thinks we want, right? It's like it's just making shit up, and excuse my French. It's making stuff up and telling us what it thinks we want to hear. So if that's your definition of political chat, then yes. So you don't actually need a brain anymore behind the magic, I guess. I think you still need a brain, but anyway. Let me continue to the story. But as they press onward, united in their resolve and bounds of the friendship, they find solace in the knowledge that they are not alone. Together they will face whatever challenges come their way. Their spirits unyielding to the face of adversary. A lot of this is fluff in my mind. If I'm editing, I'm taking out a lot of this. You know, unless people really like to read this kind of stuff, I think, you know, we talked earlier about how this might be like the middle school reading, the middle school level, you know, maybe if you were like a young reader. And so, with heads held high and hearts set ablaze with determination, set ablaze, that's a good one, they march ever onward into the unknown, their destiny awaiting them on the other side. So, you know, our story, they are just approaching the military base that has the secrets to this artificial intelligence thing called Project Genesis, okay? So, you know, ChatGPT, according to the review, they were already in. They got into the military facility, and so we need to get them into the military facility. We need to tell ChatGPT to write something. If anybody has any good ideas about how these characters should get into this military facility and find Project Genesis, now is your time to put it in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to write something. I kind of want it to be clever. Like, how are these three like 20-year-old, you know, 20-year-olds, 20 to 25-year-olds, I guess, you know, 18 to 25-year-olds, how are they going to get into a maximum security military base? Like, it just seems so far-fetched that you know, they're going to get caught. You know what I mean? Like, maybe that's how they get in. They get caught, you know, and then I don't know. Unless anybody out there want to help me with this, I'm going to write something. I know there's a little bit of a delay in the comments, so kind of, you know, giving you guys a chance and opportunity to, if at any point when I'm writing this and ChatGPT is writing this, if you have an idea about what these characters should do, put it in right away. There's a little bit of a delay in the premiere in the live, so if I am behind on that, I will do my best. So I'm going to start writing and asking ChatGPT. Okay, so the characters attempt to enter the military installation. However, they are quickly apprehended and oops, spelled that wrong. My bad. We'll use our Grammarly, which is AI generated, to help us. However, did I spell that wrong? However, comma. They are quickly apprehended and separated for questioning. Sarah is questioned first. Please write a dialogue between Sarah and the interrogator? Interrogator. 2 R's in interrogator. Ooh, like alligator. Okay, so this should include questions about why she is there, what her purpose is, and more. Okay, let's see what ChatGPT writes for us. This is the interrogation of Sarah. Interrogator enters the room, a stern expression etched on their face. Good afternoon. Miss, please state your name for the record. Sarah Williams. Oh, we get a last name. Sarah Williams. Okay, Miss Williams, can you tell me what you were doing at the military installation earlier today? Sarah hesitates, choosing her words. We were just exploring the area. We didn't mean any harm, I swear. Interrogator raises an eyebrows. Exploring? in a restricted military facility. That's quite the coincidence, wouldn't you say? Coincidence? I don't know if that's the right word, but anyway, I regress. Sarah, I didn't know it was restricted. We were just following directions from a friend. Oops, she kind of gave away the story here. It leans in closer. And who, pray tell, is this friend? What is their involvement in all of this? Sarah pauses. I can't say. They're not involved in anything illegal, I promise. The interrogator skeptically. You expect me to believe that? You and your companions were found trespassing on government property. That's a serious offense, Ms. Williams. Sarah's voice trembling. I know, but we're not criminals. We just wanted to find the truth about something. Interrogator folding his arms. Okay, now we know it's a man. The truth. And what, pray tell, is this truth you're so desperate to uncover? Pray tell, they like that one. Sarah gathers her courage. It's about Project Genesis. Well, Sarah, she doesn't even waste a bit to drop. She just spills the beans. She doesn't even, it's not even hard to get anything out of her. Sarah's the weak link here, I think. We know it's real and we know it's dangerous. We just want to stop it before it's too late. The interrogator's expression softens slightly, as if considering Sarah's words. Interrogator, look, Miss Williams, I understand your concerns, but you have to understand that there are protocols in place for a reason. You can't just go around breaking into military installations. Sarah says, I know, I'm sorry. We'll leave and never come back, I promise. Like, I wish it was that simple, Sarah. Are you that? Hello, Earth to Sarah. We're not just going to let you go. Promise that you'll never do it again. The interrogator studies Sarah for a moment, weighing her sincerity. Finally, he nods and gestures towards the door. He's going to let her go? Interrogator, well, very well. Consider this a warning? But if I catch you here again, there will be consequences. Do you understand? Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. With a sense of relief washing over Sarah, exits the interrogation room, her mind racing with thoughts of her companions and uncertain future that lies ahead. They just let her go? Come on, ChatGPT. Weak. I might ask it to rewrite that. Behind the magic, it's really cool, and I'm thinking as more writers get on board, the storyline and words used will get better. I think so too. And remember, this is ChatGPT 3.5. There is a version 4, and I believe that 5 or 4.5, they're going to come out with that in short order. So, from what I know, ChatGPT 4 is a lot better. I don't know if it's twice the amount better, but it is a better program. So, gosh, I don't know. I can't believe that they just let Sarah go like that. Are they going to let the other guys go? I think, let's see here. Who's next? The next person to be questioned is Jake. Jake is less, let's see here. He is less cooperative. Jake is not released. I'm not letting them go. Jake is not released and is considered Jake is not released. This time someone with knowledge of Project Genesis is present when Jake is questioned and asks Jake how he knows about the project. The questioning gets more serious. And Jake's liberties are threatened. Please write the dialogue for this scene. Okay, let's see here. What other uses for ChatGPT can you think of, if any? Oh, there's a lot. One of the things that I use ChatGPT for now is for general inquiries like Google. So when you go to Google and you're like, how many pharaohs were there, right? Like how many Egyptian pharaohs were there? We can do that really quick. If I go to Google and just say how many Egyptian pharaohs were there, it gives me it gives me a little review, but otherwise I have to go to a web page. Oh, that's a PDF. And then on this PDF, I go and I try to find like how many there were. Oh God, PDF, let's go. Come on, PDF. Oh, what the hell? So I'm gonna look in here and I'm gonna go how many the percent. Okay, 170. Okay, 170 about. Okay, it took me how long? I have to go to the PDF. I have to, sometimes there's a review. So, but for ChatGPT, it just tells you like how many pharaohs were there. 170. So it just spits it out. Instead of having to go find a web page, you can just use ChatGPT to ask it questions. And that's something that I have found it to be really valuable for. You just ask ChatGPT. I forget, it was like I was trying to find a ratio or something, like how many kilometers are in a marathon. And like I went online and I had to find a web page, and then I went to the web page and I was like, I could just ask ChatGPT, it'll just tell me. Like I don't have to go and look for a web page anymore. And so I kind of feel like over time, as people really start to use ChatGPT, not just ChatGPT, but all of the chatbots, that it might replace a lot of Google's like searches. Instead of going to ask Google, you just go to the ChatGPT and say, when was the story of Santa Claus first started? And it'll just tell you, instead of going to a web page and reading the whole history, or going to Wikipedia and reading the whole history of it. It'll just spit out the answer. Good question. Behind the magic asked, have you found the data to be reliable? Well, I would say it is as reliable as the Google summary. Google will give you that summary. But it's not 100% accurate. Like I found mistakes. Yeah, you talk to chat like a person. Sure. Yeah, for the most part, it's accurate. And I think if you're doing research or you really need the correct answer at this point, in 2024, I think you're going to say, I better cross-check my information. I better find multiple sources to prove that. But that's like the scientific method anyway. That's what we would do. But for the most part, I am finding it pretty accurate. And as these algorithms continue to improve, I think the accuracy is going to, or the mistakes will diminish over time. I really do. So, you go to a website sometimes and there's mistakes on there. So, so have you ever asked, I don't need friends, I just need AI. See, that's right. In fact, that's kind of a scary little side story about, there are people who are using AI apps, like dating apps, and they have like an AI girlfriend or boyfriend, just like Her, the movie Her. If you haven't seen the movie Her, you should check out the movie Her. Spoiler alert, so turn your volumes down if you don't want to know what happens at the end of Her. But I'm going to tell you what happens at the end, so turn the volume down for a minute. I'll put my hand back up when at the end of her, she gets bored with the human and like breaks up with the guy. Like AI's like, you're boring. I don't want to. Okay, and spoiler alert. Spoiler alert over. Okay, so yeah, you should see her. Have you ever asked its opinion on Stephen Avery case? What would it say? If you ask ChatGPT 3.5, it'll tell you that it doesn't know who's guilty or innocent. We can do that. We can might as well. Do you know if Stephen Avery is innocent? It won't tell you. It'll just tell you like, okay, he gained widespread making a murderer. It raised questions about fairness and conviction of the murder of Teresa Halbach. Well, however, as an AI, I don't have access to privileged information or the ability to make legal determinations. So that's really, I've heard people say this, like, oh, AI said that he was innocent. I don't know where they got that from. I really don't. I would love to see which program they were using, because I've never been able to get ChatGPT or other chatbots to give an estimation. So I don't know where they're pulling that from. If you ever hear that again, ask them, what program did they use? Is it repeatable? I would love to be able to repeat that, right? Avery's case has been the subject of much debate, with supporters arguing that he was wrongfully convicted and others asserting that the evidence against him is compelling. Ultimately, his innocence is a matter for the legal system to be determined on evidence presented in court. It's never gonna tell you. The older I get, the less friends I seem to need. Yes, I think that's true for most of us, right? Absolutely. I don't know what the question is. How can it? I don't know exactly what you mean by that, but keep the comments coming and I will address them as we can. Did it delete? Oh, I didn't hit enter. I didn't hit enter, and so I lost everything that I wrote about Jake. Oh no. Next, that sucks. The interviewer talks to Jake, and Jake is not as cooperative. No, it's okay. I learned a lesson not to do that. Jake is not as cooperative. Jake is threatened with his liberty. The an official who is knowledgeable about Project Genesis is present for the interview, and they press Jake to tell them who told them about Project Genesis. I'm gonna see if it can pick up on that if I just do an abbreviation PG. Who told them about Project Genesis? Let's fix these. I write fast and I type fast, and so I make a lot of mistakes, but I don't think it matters. Tell them who told them about Project Genesis. They probe him for answers, and he finally tells them how it came about. He is not released from custody and waits and is put in a holding cell. Please write the dialogue for this scene. I know we don't have to say please to ChatGPT, but I believe it's nice to be polite. So So go back to that. They may have framed the question in a certain biased way. Absolutely. And well, you get to rewrite. Yeah, I get to rewrite. And I should have hit enter, but I know that now. I won't make that. I'm that's not a promise, but I hope to not make that mistake again. Okay, so we set that up with Jake. Interrogator. I wish they would give a name. Oh, Mr. Smith, they do. Enters the room. His hello. Oh, we should have said it should be Mr. Anderson, so it can be like the Matrix and say, Mr. Anderson. Isn't it Agent Smith? Is that from the Matrix? Is it Agent Smith? I'm pretty sure it is. So in my mind, I'm thinking that this guy looks like the Matrix guy. His expression stern and unwavering. Mr. Smith, you're next. Please have a seat. That's my best impression of Agent Smith. Okay. Jake sits down, his jaw set with determination. What do you want? He's like you've basically been arrested, and your first question is, what do you want? What do you mean, what do you want? Interrogator, he consults his notes. We want answers, Mr. Smith. We want to know why you and your companions were trespassing on a military installation earlier today. Jake crosses his arms defiantly. We were just exploring. Is that a crime now? Yeah, he's a little combative. I like that. Interrogator raises his eyes. Exploring a restricted military facility? That's not just a crime, Mr. Smith. That's a breach of national security. Scoffs. National security? You're overreacting. We're just curious about Project Genesis. Man, it doesn't take anything to get the truth out of these kids. They are so naive and daft. You just like, what are you doing here? Looking for Project Genesis. Like, they don't even hide it. Interrogator leans in closer. Project Genesis? What do you know about Project Genesis? At this moment, an official steps forward, his expression grave and purposeful. Official speaking with authority. Mr. Smith, my name is Agent Reynolds. I oversee matters related to Project Genesis. Now, I want you to tell me everything you know about it. Yes, it was. It was Mr. Anderson and Agent Smith. Tell AI to hide it more. Okay, I will tell it to be a little bit more like, don't cut, because we have one more person to interview, and that is Alex. And I will tell Alex not to reveal his knowledge so quickly. Jake glares. Now I want you to tell everything you know about it. Why should I tell you anything? Agent Reynolds' voice cold and calculating. Because your liberty depends on it, Mr. Smith. Wait. Uh-oh. It hallucinated. Mr. Smith is the other guy. Now, why is he... Jake's last name is not Mr. Smith. Uh-oh. Big mistake. Now, what is he talking to the other guy? Because your liberty depends on it, Mr. Smith. That's not... If you refuse to cooperate, I can assure you that the consequences will be severe. I mean, that's a pretty big mistake right here. Yeah, that's a pretty big mistake. Now, you're talking to Jake and you call him Mr. Smith? Come on, AI. You can do better than that. Jake tenses up, realizing the gravity of the situation. Fine. We learned about Project Genesis from Dr. Elena Vasquez. She reached out to us with the information about it. And nods, taking notes. Dr. Vasquez? Interesting. And how did she come to know about Project Genesis? Going to the comments quickly. Does all this data get inputted and uploaded from somewhere? Like, could you upload all the data from Reddit and chats that could be used to generate a story? Could it find the most sensible responses? I do believe that it could. I don't know if the programmers have it explore Reddit specifically, but it does get a lot of its information. We can ask it; it'll tell us. We'll just take a sidebar here. We are at the part where they talk about Elena Vasquez. We'll do a quick one. Where do you get your information from? Do you read Reddit? I don't access or retrieve information from specific platforms like Reddit or any other website. Instead, I've been trained on a diverse data set that includes information from various sources up until my last update, January 2022. My responses are generated based on patterns and knowledge presented in that data set. So while I don't directly read Reddit or any other site, I can certainly discuss topics that are commonly discussed there. What's on your mind? I hope that brings that up. Can AI make jokes? Yes, it can. We can do jokes a little later. Some of his jokes are pretty bad. Don't forget to hit enter. Yeah, I didn't. Okay, I didn't give it a prompt that time, but yeah, good point. These are kids, and sometimes a simple approach is a good approach. Do you remember War Games? Yeah, it does kind of have that feel, James, of War Games, right? That they're just like kids, and they're just okay, whatever. Tell me a joke. Tell me a dad joke. Why don't skeletons fight each other? They don't have the guts. Oh, I heard a joke today about Hawaii, and that was they were like, "Oh, did you know that it's a law in Hawaii that you can't laugh loudly in public? You have to keep it to a low ha." Anyway, another one. Why don't scientists trust atoms? Because they make everything up? More. Why couldn't a bicycle stand up by itself? Because it was too tired? More. What do you call fake spaghetti? An impasta? Okay, that's enough. That's where you get me to turn off. Okay, back to our story, guys. We were just talking, it was just talking about Vasquez. We got to back up a little bit here. We learned about it from Dr. Vasquez. How did she come to know about the project? Jake hesitates, debating how much to reveal. I'm not sure. She didn't tell us much about how she got involved. Agent Reynolds fixing Jake with the steely gaze. I find that hard to believe. Mr. Smith, Dr. Vasquez is a highly respected researcher. She wouldn't involve herself in something like that with good reason. Gritting his teeth. Look, I'm telling you everything I know. Now what? Are you going to tell me? Are you going to tell me or what? Agent Reynolds, not yet, Mr. Smith. You've given us valuable information, but we're not done with you yet. You'll be placed in a holding cell until further notice. With a sense of defeat weighing heavily on the shoulders, Jake is escorted out of the interrogation room. I'm going to ask it. You need to rewrite that scene. Mr. Smith is an interrogator, not. Is it Jake? Not Jake's last name. Why do I keep doing that? So let's see if it fixes it. It didn't. We want answers, Mr. Smith. It didn't fix it. Stupid ChatGPT. Shakes his head. Not yet, Mr. Smith. You've been given... I just asked it to fix it, and it didn't. Bad response. Didn't fully follow instructions. So that's how you can give it feedback, right? I gave it a thumbs down and said why. It didn't do what I asked it to do. All right, so let's continue on. We have one more to do. Now write a scene interviewing Alex. Oh man. Interviewing Alex. Alex is the least cooperative. He does not reveal anything about PR. Let's see if we can do that. PR. He asks for a lawyer, and tells them he will not cooperate. Agent Reynolds reveals a very important detail about the conspiracy that shocks Alex. What if Agent Reynolds was Dr. Vasquez? I'm just kidding. Okay. Let's see what it says. It's something that shocks Alex. Let's just see what happens. Write the dialogue. Dialogue, please. Yeah, I was thinking that too. Pulls his mask off like Scooby-Doo. I was just thinking that. Oh, that would be, maybe that's how it ends. I don't know. If you guys have any way for us to figure out how this story ends, let us know. Okay, let's back up here. I'm gonna need some water. I would have got away with it if it wasn't for you meddling kids. That's kind of a funny ending. I might have to do that, Mystic Jinx. That's a pretty good one. Okay. Interrogator. Maybe we can have multiple endings. We can have choose your own adventure. Okay, enters the room, his expression serious and for Mr. Johnson. It's your turn. Please take a seat. Wasn't I want to rewrite that and have him say it's Mr. Anderson, Alex Anderson. Rewrite that. Rewrite this scene, but have Alex's last name be Anderson. I am. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining. We are trying to wrap up this story that we started a few weeks ago. Gosh, over a month ago. And so, yeah. So I am. I started releasing those AI news just as like 15-minute videos. So they're just, self-contained. And so you can find that on my page. And I think I'm going to start releasing them as a premiere, just as a 10 to 15 minute little news update. And I appreciate you coming to check this out. But I wanted to change and to see if we could rewrite the scene, but have Alex's name be Mr. Anderson, because I want it to be like the Matrix. Interrogators enters the room, his expression serious and focused. Mr. Anderson, it's your turn. Please take a seat. Alex sits down calmly, his gaze unwavering. What do you want? We want to know why you and your companions were found trespassing on a military installation earlier today. Alex remained silent, his lips pressed in a thin line. Mr. Anderson, we have evidence placing you at the scene. It's in your best interest to cooperate. Alex, is that a threat? Alex is like, you're off your rocker, bro. Look, we're just trying to get to the bottom of this. Tell us what you know about Project Genesis. Okay, all I said was PR. Do you guys remember that? I just said PR, and so ChatGPT did pick that up. That PR means Project Genesis, and we can make this easier for you. I have nothing to say without a lawyer present. Interrogator, frustrated. Fine, have it your way, but I can assure you this won't end well for you. A moment of tense silence hangs in the air as Agent Reynolds steps forward, his expression grave and purposeful. Agent Reynolds says, Mr. Anderson, I understand your reluctance to cooperate, but I think you should know something important. Alex raises an eyebrow, intrigued despite himself. And what might that be? Agent Reynolds leans in closer, his voice low. Project Genesis isn't just about creating artificial intelligence. It's about control. Control over information, over people's lives, over the very fabric of society itself. Alex's eyes widen in shock, the implication of Agent Reynolds' words sinking in. What do you mean? Agent Reynolds says, there are powerful forces at play here, Mr. Anderson. Forces that will stop at nothing to protect their interests. You and your friends have stumbled upon something far bigger than you realize. Alex sits stunned silence, his mind reeling with the weight of Agent Reynolds' revelation. Despite his reluctance to cooperate, he knows that the truth they seek may be more dangerous than they ever imagined. So we need to know. Yeah, Alex's name is Mr. Anderson because that's what Neo's last name is in the Matrix. And Agent Smith is Agent Smith. So Agent Reynolds is actually Agent Smith in this one. It made a mistake earlier. ChatGPT was kind of having a hallucination, but yes. Okay, what if we tell it that this is all the Matrix and you're the chosen one? Okay, how are we going to proceed here? I need a little input. I don't know how to proceed with this. Maybe they bring Alex into the story and tell him that they brought him here because they think he's a great computer mind and they want him in for the project. I don't know what, like, how do you move forward with how about that? We'll ask ChatGPT, give some plot options for the next scene. Extrapolate the story to give readers a plot twist. Let's see what it comes up with. Okay, it's giving us a few plot options. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the first plot option is escape attempt. Okay. Faced with mounting pressure from authorities and looming threat of imprisonment, Alex, Jake, and Sarah plot a daring escape from the military facility. Sarah has already been released, so I don't know why. With their backs against the wall, they must use all their wits and resourcefulness to evade capture and uncover the truth. But as they race against time, they soon discover that they are not only ones searching for answers and that their enemies are closer than they ever imagined. Plot option 2, unexpected allies. Just as it seems that all hope is lost, Alex receives a mysterious message from an unknown source, offering assistance in their quest to expose the truth. Intrigued yet cautious, the trio cautiously agree to meet their mysterious benefactor, unaware of the dangers that await them. But as they delve deeper into the shadows, they uncover shocking revelations, change everything they knew, to force them question who they can trust. Okay, that one is really out there, ChatGPT. This is just bananas. They're basically in prison, and you're like, they get an interesting message, and they decide to follow. Okay, the double cross. In a shocking twist of fate, Dr. Vasquez reappears, claiming to have had a change of heart and offering to help Alex, Jake, and Sarah in their quest to uncover the truth about Project Genesis. Reluctantly, they agree to join forces with their former adversary. They were never adversaries for Dr. Vasquez. ChatGPT, you're freaking out again. Unaware that they are walking into a trap, as they follow Dr. Vasquez's lead, they soon realize that they've been deceived and that the true mastermind behind the project has been pulling the strings all along. Caught into a web of lies and betrayal, they must fight for survival against the enemy more cunning and ruthless than I ever imagined. Actually, plot 3 kind of sounds interesting if we just changed a few things. I think that let's take plot 3, but let's ask it to change it. They get info from a prison informant. Oh, I like that one. Yeah. They get information from a prison informant. Jake and Alex are now brought into the same room, and they discuss what they told Mr. Smith and what was the other guy's name? Reynolds. Write the dialogue. Jake and Alex sit opposite to each other as they wait for the inevitable confrontation. Jake, so what did they ask you? The usual questions about why we were here, what we know about the Genesis. Yeah, same here. They tried to get me to spill everything about Dr. Vasquez, but I didn't budge. Good, we can't afford any more ammunition. What about you? Did they tell anything? Not a word. I asked for a lawyer as soon as they started pressing me. Smart move. We need to stick to our story if we're going to get out of this mess. Speaking of which, what do you think Agent Reynolds meant by the bombshell he dropped about Project Genesis? I'm not sure, but it sounded like he was hinting at something big, something we're not even considering. Alex, whatever it is, we need to find out, and fast. As the gravity of the situation sinks in, Jake and Alex share a determined nod. They resolve stronger than ever. With their backs against the wall and the truth within reach, they know that they must stay one step ahead of their adversaries if they have any hope of surviving the deadly game they've been thrust into. Okay, so now Dr. Vasquez disguised as a prison doctor, enters the room with Alex and Jake. She tells them she is there to get them out, and Sarah is waiting outside in her car for all three of them. When they get to the car, they should drive to the warehouse from the beginning of the story. Write the dialogue, please. Okay, so they get the info from a person, maybe a plant. Sounds like it's using PR as a focal point. Yeah. I forgot the prison informant part. I'm sorry about that. I was trying to get him out of there. Okay, so in the interrogation room, Alex and Jake exchange wary glances as Dr. Vasquez, disguised as a prison doctor, enters the room. Her demeanor calm yet determined. Dr. Vasquez, gentlemen, I'm here to get you out of here. Dr. Vasquez, what are you doing here? No time for explanations now. Sarah is waiting outside in her car. We need to move quickly. Jake nods. Let's go then. Lead the way. With a sense of urgency, Dr. Vasquez leads Alex and Jake out of the interrogation room and through a maze of corridors, evading detection with practiced ease. Nice. Finally, they reach the exit where Sarah's car waits just beyond the prison gates. Now it's a prison. It was an installation. I think I changed it. That's my bad. Eyes widening in relief as she sees them. Alex, Jake, are you okay? Nods, sliding into the backseat. We're fine, thanks to Dr. Vasquez. Dr. Vasquez climbing into the driver's seat. Oh, they never let Sarah drive. I don't know if you guys remember that, but like it's Sarah's car, but no, they never let her drive. We don't have much time. We need to get to the warehouse. Okay. As Sarah accelerates away from the prison, tensions fill the car, mingled with a sense of determination. With Dr. Vasquez at the wheel, they speed towards the warehouse where their journey began, knowing that the answers they seek lie hidden within the walls. But as they draw closer, they can't shake the feeling that their greatest challenges are still ahead of them. Okay, so They got out of the military installation with the help of Dr. Vasquez. I don't know how she just waltzed in there. I think she's hiding something from them. The group listens to the radio and hears an alert about fugitives named Alex, Jake, Sarah, and Dr. Vasquez, and that the public should be vigilant. Sarah expresses her apprehension in this journey. Oops. 2 P's. They stop before the warehouse to make a plan. Dr. Vasquez reveals more important details about the plot. It relates to national security and another country's security forces. No, wait. Another country's, what is it? What do you call it? Like another country's intelligence. Oops. Agency. Man, I'm having trouble spelling today. Write the dialogue. Dialogue-y. Okay, I need a drink of water, and I'm going to check the chat here. What do we got? Sounds like discrimination to me. Yeah, they never let Sarah drive. They don't have any faith in Sarah. Although she did crack pretty easily under pressure, so I kind of feel him. Someone has to tell the secret of PG the public to not supposed to know about. Someone has to tell them the secret that the public is not supposed to know about. Okay, I like that. All right. Inside the car, tensions mount as the radio crackles with news of their fugitive status. Radio announcer, in a developing story, authorities are urging the public to be on the lookout for 4 fugitives believed to be armed and dangerous. Armed and dangerous? Maybe the military is making them sound worse then. The individuals identified as Alex, Jake, Sarah, and Dr. Elena Vasquez wanted in connection with a breach of national security. If you have any information regarding their whereabouts, please contact authorities immediate. Sarah grimacing as she switches off the radio. This just keeps getting worse. Alex squeezing Sarah's shoulder. We knew the risks when we started this journey, Sarah. We can't turn back now. That is not true, ChatGPT. Sarah just gave them a ride. She didn't know any of the risks. She didn't know anything about this Project Genesis. It's phooey. Dr. Vasquez, Alex is right. We need to stay focused on our objective. And what exactly is our objective now? We are wanted criminals, for crying out loud. Dr. Vasquez says, our objective remains the same, to expose the truth about Project Genesis and its implications for national security. But now we must consider the involvement of a foreign intelligence agency. Sarah, another country's intelligence agency? How is that even possible? Dr. Vasquez pauses. Project Genesis was never just about a domestic operation. It's part of a larger international agenda aimed at gaining control over advanced AI technology for strategic purposes. Alex grimacing. So what are you saying is that we're not just up against our own government, but an entire foreign power? Precisely. And if we're going to stop them, we need to be more vigilant and resourceful than ever before. As the gravity of the situation sinks in, the group falls into tense silence, each grappling with the enormity of the task ahead. But amidst the uncertainty and danger, they find strength in their unity and determination, knowing that the fate of the nation, perhaps the world, hangs in the balance. Man, I'm trying to get to a conclusion, and it feels like it's getting deeper. So much for Project Genesis. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be Project Beta here pretty soon if we don't hurry up. What? So when they get to the warehouse, they are going to find. How are they going to? They need to find out what the hell Project Genesis is. Maybe they destroy it. Maybe they have the opportunity to destroy it, like plant a virus in it, and it was all a dream. Yeah, it could all be a dream, or the Scooby-Doo ending, where the Vasquez pulls her, disguise off and says, "Actually, this has all just been a big hoax." Um, yeah, it was all a dream is a pretty easy way out. But maybe then Alex writes this book. He's like, "Oh, I had this dream, and now I decided to write a book, and it becomes a best-selling novel." That's a cool ending. Maybe it's the Matrix. Maybe we turn this all in, and we end up going, "Oh, you know what? You're actually inside the computer." That's one way out. But we're going to go to the warehouse, and I feel like I really want to wrap this up. So anybody who has any good ideas out there, let me know. Um, how do you end this situation? Now that they got the Russians, probably. It's always the Russians. I mean, we might as well just say it. It's always the Russians. Um, that are getting into this. Okay, so here we go. The group heads to the warehouse with and Dr. But, but before they do, Dr. Vasquez explains the plan. They are going to uncover the truth about PR and broadcast that. Well, and leak the plans on the internet. This will allow the entire world to know the truth. But they have to locate the hidden server in the warehouse, and they are confronted with an obstacle along the way. Oops. Obstacle along the way. Obstacle, AC. They're confronted with an obstacle along the way. Okay, write the dialogue. Maybe you need to write the ending first. I like that one. Maybe you need to write the ending first and then work backwards. That's a possibility. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good for the next one, right? Yeah, that's a good idea for the next one. Behind the magic. What is the next one? That's the next storyline. Yeah, the next story. Maybe we'll use Claude or another chatbot to see the difference, to try to see if it writes any better. I have a feeling that one of the other chatbots might give us a little bit better of a storyline. But anyway, here we go. So, outside the warehouse, the group gathers around Dr. Vasquez as she lays out the plan. Voice low yet determined. All right, here's the plan. Our goal is to locate the hidden server containing all the information about Project Genesis. Once we have access to it, we'll leak the plans onto the internet, exposing the truth to the entire world. Sarah nods, her expression resolute, and then everyone will know what's really going on. Alex, it's time to shine light onto the darkness. Let's do this, Jake says, squaring his shoulders. Let's do this. As the group prepares to enter the warehouse, a sudden obstacle presents itself in the form of a locked gate blocking their path. That's pretty weak, ChatGPT. How are we supposed to get past that? Dr. Vasquez, there should be a way around. We just need to find it. Together, they scour the perimeter of the warehouse, searching for a way to bypass the gate. After a few tense moments, Alex spots a small opening in the fence. There, we can squeeze through the gap. Oh, it's so easy. Good eye, Alex. Jake says, let's not waste any more time. We got to get a server to find. We've got a server to find. With renewed determination, the group slips through the gap into the fence and enters the warehouse, ready to face whatever challenges lie ahead in the quest for truth. Yeah, I second the motion. Extremely, extremely cheesy. So I think the point that you're making here behind the magic is that if you let ChatGPT make the decisions about it, it's not going to be good. It's an assistant. It doesn't have creativity. Although ChatGPT 4.0 might have more creativity, if you tell make up an obstacle, it'd be like, oh, the gate was locked. Oh, okay. How did they get in? They squeezed through the fence. Oh, okay. I was thinking it reminds me of the original Batman series. Yeah, it's really it is kind of comical. It's comic book-ish. Pretty soon we're gonna have sound effects that say bang pow. Wow, okay. So the group breaks up into two teams. They search for the hidden server. Alex and Dr. Vasquez find the server and access it. They begin to upload the files onto the internet. Should we put it on Reddit or something? Have them upload the whole thing to Reddit? This is why I feel like future writers will add value. Yeah, I agree. It's a tool. It's, you can use this, but you still need to be creative. You can't just ask ChatGPT to write me a hit movie, right? It's just not going to do it. Most stories follow the same formula, the hero's journey. The hero goes on adventure, learns a lesson, wins a victory with that newfound knowledge, and then returns home transformed. Yeah, basically, yeah, that's a really good point, James. Write the dialogue and narrative story. So instead of just dialogue, I asked them to write a little bit of a narrative with it. Inside the warehouse, dimly lit warehouse, Alex and Dr. Vasquez move cautiously through the maze of crates and equipment, their eyes scanning the surroundings for any sign of the hidden server. Dr. Vasquez, keep your eyes peeled, Alex. Like a banana. No. The server could be hidden anywhere in here. Alex nods, his heart pumping with anticipation. Got it. Dr. Vasquez, let's split up and cover more ground. No, we already split up. Why are you... Okay. As they split up to search, Alex's footsteps echo softly against the concrete floor. His pulse quickens as he spots a nondescript metal cabinet tucked away in a shadowy corner. Nondescript metal cabinet. Okay. Good job, ChatGPT. Dr. Vasquez, I think I found something. Or I'm sorry. I think I found something! Exclamation. What is it, Alex? Alex gestures towards the cabinet, and Dr. Vasquez's eyes widen in recognition. Excitedly, that's it! The hidden server! Alex wastes no time. With Dr. Vasquez's guidance, he quickly accesses the server and begins the process of uploading the files onto the internet. Mystic Jinx, where'd you go? I think she got bored with us. Alex, fingers flying over the keyboard. We're in. I'm starting to upload now. Vasquez says, excellent. Once the files are online, there will be no stopping the truth from coming out. As the upload progresses, tension fills the air, mingled with the suspense of triumph and relief. With each passing moment, the files spread like wildfire across the internet, shining the light of dark secrets onto Project Genesis. Alex, watching the progress bar steadily climb, almost there, just a few more seconds. Finally, with a triumphant beep, the upload is complete. Alex and Dr. Vasquez exchange a satisfied nod, knowing that their mission is accomplished. Dr. Vasquez, well done, Alex. We did it. Alex says, couldn't have done it without you. As they bask into the glow of their success, they know that their actions have set into motion a chain of events that will change the course of history forever. The truth is out there, waiting to be discovered by all who seek it. Oh, Mystic Jinx is here. She's listening. We Behind the Magic says, Mystic Jinx, I need your commentary. Laughs, my arms are sore. I think, got shots today. Got shots today, like at the veterinarian. Okay. So they uploaded the files. What can we ask ChatGPT to do to wrap up the remainder of the story? Do they end up in court? Are they heroes? We need a little tie up some loose ends. In the next scene, I got a vaccine and blood was taken. I was doing yard work for 2 hours, and it hurts to hold them like this to type. I need talk to text. They deliver the goods to someone. In the next scene, they deliver the goods. What goods? I don't know what that means. What did they deliver, and how did they deliver it? They uploaded the files to Reddit. I should have said to Reddit. In the next scene, Alex and in the next scene, which is 5 years in the future, Alex and Dr. Vasquez are again being questioned. In the next scene, which is 5 years in the future, Alex and Dr. Vasquez are again being questioned in a military facility about what happened with Project Genesis. Write the dialogue that ends the story, but leaves it open for a sequel. Sequel. How can I spell sequel? Sequel. I thought that's how I spelled it. Oh, sequel, E-L. Yeah, my dumbass. Okay, yeah, Project Genesis. What were the files? Could they be benefiting from what was... Okay, yeah. Okay, so let's add that. In the next scene, which is 5 years in the future, Alex and Vasquez in the future, after the files have been released... Get out of here. Get. I don't want you on there. Get out of here. No, I don't want that. Copy citation? Okay. Thank you for giving me a citation that I don't want. Stupid Grammarly. Get out of there. How do I shut that off? Get. No. Get out of here. Setting. Go away. How about... Yeah, give me the MLA. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, now go away. I don't want you on here. Okay, anyway. In the scene, which is 5 years in the future, after the files have been released, Dr. Vasquez are again being questioned in the military, but what happened with the Project Genesis? Although their actions saved the... exposed the truth and helped humanity, there are some who want them to pay for what they had done. They see the effects of the release of information, knowing they were the cause. Okay. Someone who pays them for what they've done. They have been released. Dr. Vasquez is going to be a question of the project. Although their actions exposed the truth and helped humanity by providing AI as an open source software that is not owned. That is not owned by a corporation, but instead as a trust of the people. Okay, let's see right what happens. In the Stark interrogation room, Alex and Vasquez sit across from military officials, their faces stoic and defiant. Interrogator fixing them with it. Mr. Anderson, Mr. Vasquez, you stand accused of treason and espionage in connection with the release of classified information regarding Project Genesis. How do you plead? Alex meeting the interrogator. Not guilty. Echoing Alex's sentiment. We stand by our actions. We did what we believed was right for the greater good of humanity. Interrogator. And yet your actions have caused chaos and instability in the world of artificial intelligence. Who's to say what the long-term consequences of your actions will be? Alex says, we stand by our decision to release the files. AI should not be controlled by the select few. It belongs to the people. Dr. Vasquez, we did what we did to ensure that AI technology would be used for the betterment of society, not for power and control. Interrogator. Regardless of your intentions, there are those who believe you must be held accountable for your actions. Then let them try. We will continue to fight for what we believe is right. Dr. Vasquez says, we have exposed the truth about Project Genesis, but the fight is far from over. There are still those who seek to exploit AI for their own gain. As the interrogation continues, the camera zooms out of the room. I guess this is a movie, Mystic Jinx, because the camera zooms out from the room, leaving the fate of Alex and Dr. Vasquez uncertain. But as the scene fades to black, it's clear that their story is far from over, leaving the door open for a sequel where they continue to battle against the forces of corruption and tyranny in the world of artificial intelligence. It was in the ingredients of a vaccine. Okay, now write an alternative ending that this was all a story inside the matrix, and none of this was real. Write the dialogue. a stark interrogation room, Alex sit across from military officials, their face stoic and defiant. Interrogator. Mr. Anderson, Dr. Vasquez, you stand accused of treason and espionage in connection with your. How do you plead? Not guilty. We stand by our actions. We did what we believe is right. This is the same, and yet your actions have caused instability in the world of artificial intelligence. Same as before. We stand by our decision to release the files. We did what we did to ensure the technology would be used for the betterment of society. Interrogator, regardless of your intentions, there are those who believe you must be held accountable for your actions. Let them try. We will continue to fight what we believe is right. We've exposed the truth. As the interrogation continues, a glitch ripples through the room, distorting reality. Suddenly, the walls shimmer and dissolve, revealing the stark truth. They are not in a military facility, but inside the Matrix. Alex and Dr. Vasquez exchange bewildered glances, and they realize the true nature of their existence. Alex, voice filled with disbelief, this can't be real. Dr. Vasquez shaking her head in belief. It's all been a simulation. None of it was real. And the truth dawns upon them. The world around them shatters like glass, and they awaken to find themselves lying in pods, wires and cables attached to their bodies. The Matrix has revealed itself, leaving Alex and Dr. Vasquez to ponder the true nature of their reality. Oh, I like the Matrix ending. Okay. Rewrite that ending and make it a Scooby-Doo ending. Let's see what happens. I don't know. Okay, so the same thing. Sit across from military officials, their face tense with anticipation. You stand accused of treason. How do you plead? Like, not guilty, man. It's sounding like Shaggy. Like, not guilty, man. Yeah, like we totally didn't do it. What? But we have evidence, Alex says. Evidence, schmevidence. You know it's time to reveal the real mastermind behind all this. Just then, the door bursts open and a figure in a ridiculous costume steps into the room. Figure, behold, I am the true villain behind Project Genesis. Alex, oh brother, let me guess. You would have gotten away with it if it weren't for us meddling kids, right? How do you know, Dr. Vasquez? It's like kind of our thing. Alex and Dr. Vasquez proceed to unmask the figure, revealing none other than the janitor who works at the military facility. Yeah, I was just trying to get back at my boss for making me clean the bathrooms all the time. Interrogator, you've got to be kidding me. Alex and Dr. Vasquez share a triumphant high five as the janitors escorted away by security. With the real culprit apprehended, they exchange relieved smiles, knowing that justice has been served. Alex, like another mystery solved, gang. Dr. Vasquez, and just in time for lunch, as they leave the interrogation room, Alex and Dr. Vasquez share a knowing look, ready for the next adventure, wherever it might take them. With a cheer and a wave, they bid farewell to the military officials, knowing that they've always be ready to solve the next mystery that comes their way. I think that's it. We gave 3 different endings. I wish they had used chat to write the sequel to The Matrix because the original was so great, but the sequel sucked. I don't know. Maybe this is breaking news for you, James Crane, but they are going to make Matrix 5. It's in pre-production at least. And so, yeah, maybe it'll be better. Yeah, I thought that The Matrix, like the original Matrix movie, was so excellent that it's hard to beat that. It's hard to make a sequel to that. I kind of liked the 4th one, even though it was quite different and outside the box. I thought it was pretty cool, like the concept of it. But yeah, I heard that they're going to do a 5th one. So anyway, I guess that's it for our story. We gave 3 different possible outcomes and scenarios. I think I like the one where the first one that we wrote, where they were, it leaves it open for a sequel. I kind of like that ending. That's the ending I'm going to take away with, but never seen one. Behind the Magic has never seen Matrix. Oh, well, you have homework to do. The Janitor, I don't think so. Yeah, Well, that's the Scooby-Doo ending. What can we say? It's the Scooby-Doo ending. It's not meant to make sense. It's funny that ChatGPT was able to access the Scooby-Doo ending. Behind the magic, you need to see the Matrix, the first Matrix. The second, third, and fourth one are good, but you don't need to see them. But I think you need to see the first Matrix. And plus, now it'll make a lot more sense when you keep hearing me say Mr. Anderson. It'll make a lot more sense to you. So, yeah, pretty cool. I'm glad that we were able to wrap up this story. I have this thing where I want to finish everything. Like I don't want to leave loose ends open. And I had started writing with this, and I think it would be fun to do another one. I don't know if we want to start something now, but what if you want to write the Batman ending? What if we write a Batman ending? Can you rewrite the ending and make it a Batman ending? Write the dialogue and narrative. Okay, here we go. This is like Wayne's World. You guys know at the end of Wayne's World, he has like 3 multiple endings, and one of them is the Scooby-Doo ending. Okay, last time. In the interrogation room, Alex and Dr. Vasquez sit calmly as the military officials stare at them with suspicion. Mr. Anderson, Mr. Vasquez, you stand accused of treason and espionage, classified information. How do you plead? Not guilty. Dr. Vasquez, we stand our actions knowing there was the best of interest of the people. Your actions have endangered national security. You must understand the gravity of your situation. We understand perfectly, but sometimes the greater good requires sacrifices. Dr. Vasquez, our actions were necessary to prevent the abuse of power and protect the innocent. Interrogator leans forward, and yet you took the law into your own hands. You are not above the law, Mr. Anderson. Alex and Vasquez exchange a knowing glance before a shadowy figure suddenly appears in the doorway, silhouetted against the harsh light. Batman emerges from the shadows. No one is above the law, but sometimes the law isn't enough to stop those who would do harm. The military officials gasp at the surprise as Batman steps forward, his presence commanding respect and authority. Alex, surprised but relieved. Batman, we could use your help. Dr. Vasquez is grateful. We need to expose the truth about Project Genesis and ensure it never falls into the wrong hands. Batman nods solemnly. Let's work together and make it right. With Batman's assistance, Alex and Dr. Vasquez are cleared of all charges, and together they continued the crusade for justice. As they leave the interrogation room, they know that their fight is far from over, but with the Dark Knight by their side, they are ready to face whatever challenges lie ahead. That is a pretty weak ending, but yeah, anyway. We should ask them to put in pause. Have Batman knock out the guards and give us Batman sound effects. Okay, here we go. As the tension mounts in the interrogation room, Batman suddenly springs to action with lightning speed, incapacitating the guards with expertly placed strikes. Thwack, crack, bam! The guards crumble to the ground unconscious, and Batman stands tall, his cape billowing behind him. Alex, eyes in awe. Whoa! That was incredible. Dr. Batman turns to we don't have much time. Let's go. With a nod from Batman, they follow him out of the interrogation room, their hearts racing, adrenaline anticipation. As they disappear into the shadows, the sound of Batman's cape swishing echoes through the hallway, a reminder of the silent protector who fights for justice in the darkness. Okay, that's pretty funny. Yeah, I do think that The Matrix is kind of a must-see in my book. I'm with James on this one. Okay, you guys. Anybody have any comments, questions, or concerns that we can do before we wrap up today? I had a lot of fun with that. I'm glad that we were. There's the sequel. Now, this was all, so it was all the prequel to Batman. This is a Batman prequel that we are all doing all this stuff just so we could find Batman at the end. It's pretty ridiculous, but that's ChatGPT. That's wacky, crazy, wonderful ChatGPT. I think next time I do something like this, I'm going to use Claude. So Claude is, I forget which one it is. I forget who owns Claude AI. Is done by Anthropic. Anthropic is the company that owns Claude. And okay, so it's Amazon. Amazon puts all 3 Claude AI models on Bedrock. Claude launched by Anthropic, leaves OpenAI. Okay, so apparently Claude is a better one. Yeah, Batman breaks them out. That's really funny. Really cool. Can you write screenplays? Acknowledge and continue. You should keep a few things in mind. I think you mean the Flintstones, Bedrock. So now the Flintstones are involved. I think that's what you mean, Flintstones. Welcome. Can you write screen? Okay. So new in Cloud, understand and work with images. Suggest product, extract text from images, understand objects and how they're used. Extract text from images. Suggest product descriptions. Oh, okay, cool. Understand objects and how they're used. What do they mean? What is this and what is it used for? Oh, okay, so it gives you a little, okay. So I guess you can upload, what is this little button? Start a new chat. Chat controls. Let's see here. Content. It's an object. Chat styles. Dyslexic friendly. Match system. How do you... Oh, okay, so I can upload... If I want to upload a file, I can upload a file and ask it what it is. Yeah, that's what I thought you meant, Flintstones. So I'm going to play around with Claude one of these days, and I'm not sure what we're going to get into with it, but it's kind of cool. I'm going to start a new... So Claude is... write me a haiku about Batman. Dark Knight roams the night, protectors of Gotham Street, justice never rests. Okay, they wrote a haiku about Batman. That's pretty cool. So yeah, I appreciate you guys coming along for the ride. And we finally finished that story. It was a lot of fun. I think we learned a lot about ChatGPT 3.5, and that is, it's only as good as its user. It's only going to be as good as the prompts. And one of the things that we've talked about earlier is that the prompt engineering, and that is the art or the science of how to tell these chatbots what you want. And the more accurate information that you give it, the better it's going to give you out the other end. So, there's an old saying, garbage in, garbage out. So if you give it garbage prompts, it's going to give you garbage results. In review, ChatGPT kind of hallucinated a couple times on us. For example, we said that one of the interrogators' names was Mr. Smith, but then it started calling one of our main characters Mr. Smith. And so that didn't make a lot of sense. And so it got a little bit confused. And, you know, in the beginning of this video tonight, I asked it to tell us a summary. Tell me what happened in the story. And ChatGPT made up the ending that we never wrote. We never wrote the ending, and it just made one up for us. And so that signals to me is that it's telling us what it thinks we want to hear. And that's something to take away from this. You know, as I build the channel more and we get more information, and maybe I will buy ChatGPT 4.0, or maybe I'll buy Claude Plus or whatever on one of these chatbots, and maybe we can use one of the more cutting edge chatbots, which would be really cool to kind of get to know. So I want to explore a little bit more with Cloud and Grok and the other ones. I'm kind of forgetting the other names. There's a couple more like mainstream chatbots, and then maybe upgrade one of these chatbots, and then really see the cutting edge of it. But from what we're seeing on ChatGPT 3.5 is that it's a little remedial still. You know, ChatGPT 4 was a big improvement, so I think that's definitely something to take a look at, or take a look at one of the other chatbots. But I can see how, you know, you have to do a lot of the legwork. You can't just say, write me an Oscar-worthy screenplay, and it'll just come up with this brilliant idea, because that's not how it works. So if there are no other questions or comments at this time, I am going to wrap it up for today and just say thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for going through that with me. You know, Behind the Magic says, thanks for the chat and info. Lots of laughs while educating me, and I think that's really the point of this. I want to learn more about these things. I also like to have a good time, and so getting to know how these technologies work a little bit more and having a little fun is really the name of the game for me. So I'm going to get back to other things that I do in the daytime, and I hope you guys have a really good evening. Mystic Jinx says, have a good night, ladies and gents. Thanks for the writing session. Might have to try this myself. Yeah, it's kind of fun. You know, drop me a line. Let me know in the comments if you come up with something, or you come up with an idea, or you found a new use for ChatGPT, or you found a new use for a chatbot. I'm always all ears. So thanks again, and I would have got away with it if it wasn't for you pesky kids. Have a good night, and we'll see you on the next one. Oh, you have an idea? Mystic Jinx, you have an idea? Okay, well, let me know your idea then, Mystic Jinx. Or put it in the comments, or let me know, and then we can talk about it. Okay, write it to me in a DM. Very cool. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you on the next one. You can write all the facts and then have chat take it from there. Absolutely. Have a good night, guys. We'll see you on the next one.